Hi everyone, it's Killshot from 99 Gaming's The Walking Dead Season 8, Episode 12, Dwight Gets Busted. So we saw a little bit of the opening minutes, and I'm just going to come right out there and say it. This is the last time you're going to see Dwight as a trusted member, because there's some things that go down, some hidden clues that were mentioned, and I'm going to go through a lot of those hidden clues tonight. Before we get started, I did see that Scott Kernan already is doing the super chat on his birthday. So first of all, Scott, thank you so much. Happy birthday to you. Hopefully you're having a wonderful birthday. And I'm flattered that you are in here spending your birthday with all of us. That is great stuff. Looking forward to your question. I got a few follow-up questions from last night, because those of you that were here, it was a very, very deep, long, drawn-out theory, and I did get sidetracked with a couple of the viewers, so I missed on a couple super chats, so I do want to give those people some credit with their super chat tonight. So I'm going to follow up on Petey's question, Carol's question, and also John Brody. They had typed, and I didn't really get a chance to answer them fully, so we're going to get to that tonight. I'm glad that all of you are here. We got a packed house tonight. I see people starting to roll in. And Valar is definitely throwing it up there early on. He missed last night, so check this out. He says, 999 Army kills Steph, Kel, Emmy, and Sweet Tommy won't miss tonight. So we're glad you're here as well. Scott, if I miss his question, you guys just let me know. Just kind of remind him. I know you Crawfish is saying, please kill the like button. So we are super chat madness already, getting this thing going on. And also, we got a couple new sponsors. Some people had messaged me. There's just a lot of awesomeness in this group. I can't say enough. New Patreons, new sponsors, and just a whole lot of people here every single night. But you guys keep this thing rolling. We got a lot of good stuff to talk about. And can I sidetrack the stream for just 1 second? Because I do have to tell you a little bit of a story. I know everybody's here to get the news on Dwight. But I was reading through some comments and some forums, and it's happened a lot of times. So I have to give a geography lesson. I hate doing it, but people from Maryland, Washington, D.C., Northern Virginia, they get it. And keep in mind, The Walking Dead is filming down in Atlanta, so they're using the coastline down there. But so many people keep saying that Alexandria is not close to the ocean. Alexandria is literally close to the ocean. People, there's Alexandria, there's the Potomac River, and it is literally right there. Now, it may not be a beach resort, but you got Chesapeake Bay, you got Sandy Point. There's a lot of stuff there. So when you see Tara walk back, or people are saying, Enid, you know, how did she get 8 hours and right to Hilltop? I'm just telling you, we don't know that she was down in Virginia Beach. We don't know the exact location of that. So it's very possible that it could be right along that eastern coastline. It's not all the way down, 4 or 5 hours in Virginia Beach. So I'm just saying, it's a little bit vague with that. But now, Alexandria is also very close to Washington, D.C., which literally it's about 10 minutes from Washington, D.C. So it's a little bit surprising that they haven't trekked a little bit further in Washington, D.C., but I just want to say that, to get that off my chest, because just a lot of people are rallying around that, and they're picking the show apart, and we can't pick every little bit and piece of it apart. So, anyway, let's move on to it. Let's talk a little bit about Dwighty Boy and how he is being played so badly right now. So there were a couple big hints in Negan's meeting where he popped in. So Dwight is in his room, unclothed to a degree. He's pouring out his, you saw hopefully the opening minutes. That's a good point. Another super chat with OU Crawfish. Enid was in a car without traffic, it would fly. Absolutely. Because if you drive from Northern Virginia to D.C., or you drive from Maryland, anyway in that area, traffic would probably take you a lot of hours. Now, I guess a lot of the roads have been cleared as well at this point. All right, thank you. Thanks, Crawfish. And sorry about Trey Young and the Sooners. Just it was a rough day for them. Early round bounce. Negan knocks on the door when Dwight is there, and let me just say, Sherry will be a future storyline. It's not going to be a mystery because this is 2 episodes in a row that we've seen a hint. So we saw Dwight and Daryl walking through the woods, and he mentioned he's looking for Sherry, and now he's looking at the ring again, so you know that's on his mind. That is his motivation. Negan knocks on the door and says, heard you had a close call. Now, anyone could have said that. We still don't know the fate of Laura, but heard you had a close call, so Negan has been asking questions about Dwight. There were, what, 4 people with Dwight? So somebody had to say what happened. But it's funny that someone else told Negan, or Negan went to someone else, and he didn't walk up to Dwight and say, hey, Dwight, where you been? Oh, you had a close call. So I think the context of that is important. I guess, you know, it could randomly happen, but he got it from someone else. Tommy, we haven't gotten there yet. Just hold tight. Chill the F out, Tommy, sweet enforcer McCandless. But you bring up a good point. So, yes, Tommy hit the nail on the head there, but I was kind of going in succession. So, Negan told him, I need, before we get to the vest, he did say, I need my best people on the job. Well, Dwight starts explaining everything. And I've seen Dwight have dialogue several times. You're killing me. All right. You know what? Should I just skip what I'm going to say and just get right to the damn vest? Petey with a PD bomb. Absolutely he did say put on your best vest. Notice the picture of Dwight there. He doesn't have a vest. All right. So let's go back before we get to the vest comment. And Negan says, you know, chug down that beer. I'm going to need a lot of help. Dwight starts talking about, well, I assumed there'd be a barricade. I was on my way to Hilltop. Way too detail-oriented. Way too detail-oriented. Well, they didn't make it out, and I got them all until I got to the woods, and I was looking for a barricade, and I was on my way to the Hilltop, and just on and on and on and on. He's nervous. Negan knows. Negan knows. And what surprises me is that Dwight doesn't know that Negan knows. I mean, Dwight seems fairly intelligent, but Negan is playing him so much. So, a couple clues here, then we'll get to the vest. Negan has talked to someone else about how Dwight got in that situation. It wasn't Dwight. So, he doesn't trust him. He appears to trust him by giving him an assignment and makes him feel like, I need my important people. Well, thanks. And Negan basically said, you did a good job. Here's your beer. Chug this beer down. And then Dwight goes on to tell him the story anyway. And then Negan says, chug the beer down, put on your best vest. Well, he doesn't have a vest. So now we know that Negan knows for sure. He is. Jenna, he's gullible. The crawfish says, because every girl's crazy about a well-vest man. I get it. So we got all of those clues. But on top of that, Negan is going to put him with Simon. Just a little extra reinsurance to kind of break him down. Now, could be Laura that told him. Doesn't have to be Laura. But Negan's already, you know, they scurry around. The group kind of gets back. Dwight's running a little bit late. Definitely warning signs there. But the next thing, let me go through my notes here, is Simon. And Simon is, I think Simon's a little bit torn. It's hard to get a good read on him because he's frustrated with Negan to a certain degree. But he does bait Dwight a little bit. He leads him a little bit. Simon's conversation says, hey, you know, I want your opinion. And Dwight says, hey, we don't get paid to think. Well, I disagree with you. You've been on both sides of the iron. And then you get that brief moment where Simon is talking and he volunteers and says, do you think these people scare easily? So he's asking Dwight a direct question about Rick's group to see if he has some familiarity with it. And then Dwight says to him, you got a better way of doing things? It's a fishing question. So Dwight is just trying to get that, like he's trying to get information out of Simon. But then Simon immediately says, nope, big man plan, his plan's going to work. And just rushes right into it like, I'm not questioning him. But I think he gets just enough information out of Dwight to know. And, well, there is still the fact that Eugene could have told. Eugene could have played that. But we don't know that. There's several different ways that Negan could know. It could be Eugene. It could be Laura. It could be the fact that he's just been missing longer than the other ones. I would bet against Eugene, though, because Eugene is, at this point, he's throwing out concepts, not really solutions. And what I mean by that is Eugene didn't say go dip the stuff in Walker guts. He was kind of being sarcastic and talking about catapulting. I think there was an element of sarcasm, but it just made Negan think of something. I mean, we could debate that. Some people are going to say Eugene did spill the beans or the pickles. Some are not. It's like last night we were talking about, does Rick have a broke leg, does he not? People are going to be on whatever side of the fence that they're on at this point. Absolutely awesome, bro. The vest. Okay. Question time. OU Crawfish. Who tipped off Rick what car Negan was in? Simon sees Rick fly down the alley and gives a smirk before Negan got hit. Eugene, Simon, or Dwight? Or bad writing. And because I know that's going to come up as well. I'm going to pose that question for the group because there is a little bit of separation there. I mean, if you think about the blue paint, and you think about Simon and the blue paint, you know, could Simon have told Rick? Did Simon want to cut a deal? It'd be tough. It'd be tough to write that into the story. Ha. Meat Grinder says Negan is playing it close to the vest. Very nice. I mean, I have no problem talking about it, discussing it, maybe speculating. I mean, we can walk through it. Because the first thing that is going to come up is, did Rick and Simon have some form of communication? They were both at the same location within minutes. Is it possible the two of them were able to chat and work something out between Simon murdering all of Jadis's people and Michonne going back to Hilltop? I mean, something had to happen, right? Because Michonne's not with Rick. Michonne went back. So Rick stayed back. See, this is tough because I started out with the whole trying to defend that Alexandria is close to the ocean. But this is something that is hard. Simon looks over and sees the car coming. And the car gets hit and Simon smirks. Simon tells Dwight to tell him to stay icy. So it does look as if Simon is in on it, right? But I just can't make that work. I'm going to read a couple comments here because we spent a lot of time on last night's chat. I want to see what people think. So I'm going to ask this question. What do you think about the coincidence of Rick driving the car into Negan's car? And while you're typing that, Scott, I got your question here. So Scott says, Kills, my question is, what if Negan is setting both Simon and Dwight up? I think that he knows that Simon lied. So what if he wants the two to kill each other, and that is why they're in the car together? Well, they've kind of both betrayed him. Now, it's tough. It's tough to put that in because if Rick didn't hit Negan's car, you could think that Negan could have something planned for Dwight and Simon, but yeah, Scott, I think it's a fair question, but it's just tough to rationalize that. I mean, I think Negan would have been better off just killing one of them, to be honest. If he's got that much distrust for his team. So I wonder, says, Simon isn't on Negan's side or Rick's side. He's doing his own thing. Sounds a little bit like Eugene, doesn't it? Thank you so much, Dan Lawrence. Appreciate you, longtime viewer, and being here with us live tonight. So let's try to sort of figure all this out. It's tough. This is like a super complicated plot happening. So and it does. And I don't bash the writers. I know they have a challenge, but it seems like the closer they get to finding a solution, the harder it is. And that's why I wanted to say, look, I can believe that Tara walked back from the ocean. I can believe that Enid drove back from the ocean. But if Rick would have hit Negan and Simon wouldn't have had the smirk, wouldn't have thought anything of it. Rick was watching. He had it planned out. So if Simon wasn't already talking about how difficult it is and these people don't quit fighting, but because he is bringing it up and he is there, you could speculate that. I just don't see it happening, though. If you ask me right now to bet on it, I'd say no. That there's just a lot of confusion right now. So perhaps there's just so much distrust, and because there is so much distrust, the characters are doing things out of character. That would be my rationalization. I think it would be more likely that Negan put Simon with Dwight to keep an eye on him, to interrogate him a little bit, to build that trust with him, because he said, hey, I trust you. You've been on both sides of the iron. But to try to use Dwight one last time in case he needs him to shift the tide. Right, Sheila? Sheila's like, so much going on, my head is spinning. I'm going to touch on a couple of the comments from last night. Before I do that, because there were several people that did super chats, and I just want to follow up on PD Theory, Carol, and also John Brody, who are all here last night. We've got a couple hundred people here watching. We're going to get into the Dwight issue a little bit further. This will be a little bit longer stream tonight. So if you guys want this stream to go 45 minutes to an hour, slap that like button. Let's see if we can get this thing up to 150 likes. If we got a lot of participation, a lot of people are involved, I'll extend it. We'll talk a little bit longer, and we'll just open it up for different topics. We have several new people watching, so I do want to make an announcement that this is when our episodes run. We do streams Sunday morning, 12 o'clock is the Walking Dead Junkies, past, present, future. 8 o'clock on Sunday night, we do a Walking Dead countdown for 30 minutes before the show happens. And then we do reactions after the Talking Dead, always. You know, it's just a chance for us to get together and sort of see how each other feel about the episode. On Monday nights, we do a recap. Tuesday, we have a topic related to the show. Wednesday, the same thing. And then on Thursday, we start to dip into this week's storyline. So thank you. Appreciate all of you jumping in for the first time. And hopefully you'll subscribe and be back and participate in this a little bit further. So a couple things from last night. John Brody had a super chat question. It said, will we see Sherry again? And John, I'm going to just go ahead and tackle that one. And I did allude to that a little bit earlier. Because Dwight mentioned it to Daryl, because Dwight still has the ring, I do think that Daryl is going to help Dwight, and they're going to go try to find Sherry. Ultimately, I think we might find Sherry dead. I would not be surprised to see her take Rosita's death and her head be the one on the spike and then open up the storyline to the Whispers. Also, we had Carol, when we were talking about the tainted meat last night, I'd mentioned that Richard had fed the pigs to the walkers, and Carol had made the comment that maybe cooking the meat does actually sterilize it. So just wanted to throw that out there. I did see the comment. I didn't touch on it, but I think that's a good observation. And then Petey, who dropped the Petey bomb last night, I don't agree with Petey's bomb, but his Rick theory, and I did want to touch on this, was that, because I think Rial said it as well, that the blood on Rick's hand when he's under the tree is from touching his own wound. And I kind of speculated that because it runs down, that it was probably more likely to be, I think it's going to be from Negan. So if you guys missed a little bit of that, check out the stream from last night. So moving on, we got a brand new super chat. And Simon said, let's cut losses, branch out, and live in peace. Absolutely. So I think he wants this thing to be done, and he wants some new people to pay the rent. They're running out of items, and if they keep on killing these people off, I don't think the scavengers were a good source of income for them, so he didn't have a problem killing all the scavengers. But I do think Simon would just rather, the way he walked around Alexander, he just wants his stuff. And there we go. I think we are completely caught up And Petey changed the Petey bomb after the stream, so it became a I was going to say repeaty bomb, but I guess a retreaty bomb. There you go. You retreated from your statement, so that was a retreaty bomb. I'm just full of stuff. All right, so back to Dwight. I'm just going to ask the group, because there's a ton of people here, a ton of different opinions. Any chance at all from the group that you think Dwight will ever be pro-Negan, pro-Saviors again? I just want to see if anybody thinks that he will turn on Rick's group and he will go back to being a savior. I think I've been pretty clear on my position on that, but I just want to see what the group thinks. Chris Rainig with a super chat. So Chris, follow it up with a question. Zelda says on a spike. So lots of no. I'm going to say absolutely not, never, no. If you guys are watching the playback on this, definitely answer that. Whoa, Carol, Brothers Payette says, yeah, huh? No, Carol. Carol might be the only one. Crystal Gillum said it depends. Clown Dust, nope, too much to prove. So I'm going to roughly estimate here, we're doing 999 math. 98% of the people that answered said no. And I think that's a pretty good pulse of the show. I agree, Gina. I don't think it'll ever happen. And he didn't want to run back to the Saviors. He had no choice. That was his only play. Sheila Beasley with the super... Well, you know what? Maybe they'll sort it out. So Sheila with the super chat says, my head is still spinning, but enjoying the conversation. Well, because there's a lot to sort out. It is confusing, and these many time skips, they're hard to justify. Chris with a follow-up says, we talked about the arrow quite a bit last night. So Chris says, I was wrong last night. There was no arrow. I hope it does not happen, though. It was great conversation. And we analyzed. I mean, we broke it down. There's a lot of good stuff in that. Walking Dead Nerd 13, super chat, and no questions. So moderators, we owe him a question as well, because I do want to highlight those comments. And if you guys can help, just keep an ID on that for me, please. All right. So here's our challenge. I'm going to go through. I like to piecemeal this and give the psychology of what the writers are doing. And Sheila's head is still spinning. So our job for the next few minutes, however long we do this stream, is to get her head to stop spinning and to try to clarify what makes sense and what doesn't make sense. So the only way I can really do that is give a theory and of how I think it's going to happen, and then we can modify that theory. So I think that Rick, wow, this is a tough one. So we know Michonne goes back to Hilltop. So maybe Rick follows Simon and is waiting out, watching. I don't know that he can be listening in. I mean, that's the only thing I could really justify. I don't know if they're going to show us all of that this week, how we get to that situation, because we are going to see the dialogue with Dwight and Negan. We're going to see some sub-dialogue between Simon and Dwight. But I think because they had just left, Michonne heads up to Hilltop, and Rick goes back, and he's staking them out. Yeah, he does have the walkie-talkie. There could be some... Negan knows Rick has the walkie-talkie, so it might be silly unless Negan says something to try to set Rick up. But I'm going to tell you this. the way Negan was driving and the look on his face, he was scared. So he's not trying to lure Rick into something. And that's the reason why I think he knows what car Negan is driving. So he knows the order of the convoy. So, maybe he's around the corner, he's got his binoculars, he's checking it out. He sees Simon and Dwight get in, he sees Negan get in his car. I do think that will be a part of this week's show. Because I think that's too much of a coincidence that I don't think Rick's watching and Simon walks around the corner and says, hey, he's going to be right behind my truck. But it would make sense if he's watching them and he sees them pull out. And then Rick kind of knows a shortcut. He knows where they're going. They're going to Hilltop. So he has to cut them off before they get to Hilltop. He has to create a diversion. Now, if that happened that way, I could at least kind of make it make sense. But the look on Simon's face is like indifference. Okay, someone just hit the boss man, and there could be more of them. It seems like he's just less likely to jump out there and help. So Sheila, hopefully that makes a little bit of sense. I mean, we know the car is going to be, it's going to be flipped upside down. It's going to be burning. There's going to be a scene with Simon and Dwight standing side by side. And then Rick's basically going through these little corridors, these little alleyways, trying to catch Negan. And that's what we know at this point where, Negan says, my people are coming. And Rick says, too late. This is where you're going to die. So that tells me that there's not going to be a whole lot of action at Hilltop. That's going to be more, the action at Hilltop is going to be the preparation for them coming. What's up, Shanny D? Thanks for popping in. Debbie, that's a good point. So Debbie Thompson says Simon's end could be coming. I bet Rick mentions killing all the scavengers to Negan. I could see that part of the dialogue coming out because, it's basically like cat and mouse. He's chasing him down like, hey, my people, they're coming. This is where you're going to die. Oh, you're going to kill everybody? You're going to kill everybody like Simon killed all the scavengers? And then Negan will probably get that puzzled look. I could see that indirectly being written into the where it's not the focal point, and it's just kind of like sort of mentioned. Because if you make that the focal point, it's going to be too obvious. So, and Negan is pretty good at sort of figuring things out. And at this point, he has to be paranoid of everybody. Raiden is on a little bit of a lag. So, Raiden, we're almost up to 150 likes. We're going to keep this thing rolling. I did say if we get over 150 that we would extend the stream. So we're like right on the edge of it. All right. Well, good. I'm glad it's sorting out a little bit more. So Deidre Perkins says, Simon seems done with being second in command. I find that an interesting conflict. Yeah, but you can't... I don't think you can directly go after Negan. You kind of got to wait for him to wear out his welcome enough so you can stand up to him. And I think that's the way Simon's playing it. He's testing the waters to see who's loyal to Negan. And at the same time, Negan's testing to see who's loyal to him. I'm just reading through a couple comments. Give me a second, everybody. I got a few notes, and I'm trying to compare them with some of the comments that are popping up. All right, so one more thing, those of you that watched the opening minutes, because everybody really hit home with the vest. Did you detect anything in Negan's tone when he spoke to Dwight? I almost felt like he was trying to appease him a little bit too much. Suspicious? Don Machiavelli says suspicious. When he said put your best vest on, not another vest pun. A lot of puns here tonight. Well, he has a different tone with Dwight than he does with Eugene, right? Because I don't think he wants to intimidate Dwight. With Eugene, it's, I need my bullet maker making bullets. But with Dwight, it's more a pause. There's a and to see how Dwight reacts. With Eugene, it's just very aggressive tone. So Clown Dust, thank you so much for the super chat, Clown Dust. He says, Negan is getting worried, appears very confident, but he's realizing that his ship is going down. And that's a very good point, because his ship is going down for several reasons. He keeps bringing people over that he can't necessarily trust. He did all this stuff to Dwight, and now he's lost his leverage. He's kind of bullied Eugene, and Eugene is gaining some confidence, and he can see that. And Simon is starting to question him. So there's a lot of different forces pulling against Negan. So his ship is really sinking because of his own people. Well, and it could be because of the perseverance of Rick and Maggie and the King. So let me kind of throw in a very open-ended question to the group. We know that they're tainting the weapons to go up to prove a point to Hilltop. But because Negan's people are starting to turn on him indirectly, even this thing at Hilltop, not everybody's going to be on board with it. Does he need to punish one of his own to get control of his group again? Negan should be smart enough to know that the only reason why Dwight was there was because of Sherry, and she's gone. Scott says he needs to kill Simon. And I think Sheila says probably so. Super Rudd says he likes the show. Thank you. I like you being at the show. GTK says punish everyone. Because we've already seen the iron. We've seen someone get tossed in a furnace. And might be time. Well, Clown Dust, and that's where I think that is in line with what we talked about last night. I think he's going to use Dwight, and I think he's going to turn on Dwight. And he's going to let everybody know that he knows. And I got a feeling he's going to do it at the Hilltop. I think it's going to be more along those lines of maybe Laura shows up or Eugene. Well, Eugene won't be there. Maybe Laura shows up and he just shows everybody that he's taking them prisoner. This is good stuff. If you wonder just out of the blue who some of the people that come into our chat, and on a nightly basis there's 3 or 4 people that continually dislike the videos but yet they show up, they're from a major spoiling forum, and they do like to pop in from time to time and have no idea that 95% of stuff that we talk about are things that we do within our own network, within our own group. So as I said before, and I'm not going to say it again, if you don't like it, you shouldn't be here. Just, this chat is not for everybody. But it's kind of funny that you show up every night, even to listen and hit the dislike button. It cracks me up that you, it's almost like you want to be a part, but you're kind of afraid to be in the group. You know what I'm saying? Bye, Joshua. Thank you. You can listen in, but you will not be commenting on our channel any longer. But show up every night like you usually do, because it's good to have a couple of you guys here. Ah, he's gone. I won't get into it. I've extended this stream, and you know what? On one of the random things, I'll give you guys a few more details. I don't want to make this into that, but I will. I'm on one of the random things. I'll give you guys some information of some of the trolls that tried to personally threaten me on one of these sites, but that's a different conversation for a different time. That'll be a random things topic. Let's get back into this, because there's people that really want to kind of dig this down, and we're rolling up on 45 minutes, so I'm not worried about some punk kid making threats to me over the internet. So let's move on. Let's move on to the next topic. Yeah, it happens. You'd be surprised. In addition to possibly Dwight being made an example of, he won't be killed, but made an example out of, what other ways do you think that Negan will recoup his authority? Now, keep in mind, there's only a few episodes left. So I don't even know if he has the chance to get that back. So while we're thinking about that, I'm going to address Chris Rating's question. Do you think Laura already came back and that they're keeping her at a different outpost? Absolutely. I am 100% on board with that. I think Laura got to Negan. I don't think Eugene played the recording, but I do think Laura got there and they have hid her somewhere. I think that's an excellent comment. Ooh, oh man, that would be brutal. I love that comment though, Drama King. Not that I would want it to happen. Burn the other side of Dwight's face. That would be twisted for even Negan. I love where you're going with that though. I don't think it'll happen, but I think it might be enough just to take him prisoner. Petey Bomb. Petey Bomb in the house. Okay. Tommy, that's a nice one. Double burn? I get you. Very nice. So the Petey Bomb, Petey, you should steal Tommy's comment there and just Petey Bomb double burn, because that would have been a great Petey Bomb. All right, let me get to Petey's super chat here. Negan puts Dwight in the lineup. Not from what we hear, but evidently Dwight is there made to watch. Kind of being, led around like a puppy. Kind of like Daryl was. He ain't going to get his Daryl back, so he's going to get his Dwighty back. Hey May, what is going on? Does Simon think that Negan dies in the wreck? I'm going to say no, because they are right beside the wreck and it's on fire. So I think they know that there's a chase going down and the two are sort of out there. I mean, they're standing close enough to the car and it's burning, they could kind of peek under. So I actually think that they're going to catch up to Negan at some point and they're going to rescue him from Rick. I mean, it has to play out somehow. Mogar the Champion says this may have already been addressed, but will Simon try to force Dwight to shoot Rick to check his loyalty, and maybe he shoots Simon instead? Mogar, I guess it depends on when that would happen. I have a strong feeling. You know what? I actually think it'll play out a little bit differently. I think Rick chases Negan, and Dwight will be with Simon, and Negan will probably give the order to take them both or something along those lines. And that'll be a little bit shocking for the audience. So I do think the Saviors are going to catch up to him and they're going to rescue Negan. But they're also going to take Simon prisoner. Simon's going to tip his hand either a little bit more, or Negan's going to be like, enough is enough. Or, as someone mentioned a little bit earlier, is it possible that Dwight tipped Rick in some way? Probably not, because Dwight is back there, but maybe he found a way to message Rick. I think Rick's spying on him, and I think Rick knows, which vehicles are going to be there. We're going to touch on that in 1 second. Epic Vid says Simon will be killed in episode 13 as an example. That's tough. Maybe. I won't say no. I think it would be a waste of a good villain. But you know what I'm going to do? Epic Vids, we're going to put that super chat up for display right now. I'm going to ask the group. Everybody here right now, do you think, we gave two options the other night. Who thinks Simon will die within episode 12, 13, or 14? Within the next 3 episodes. Anybody think Simon will die? Give me a yes or give me a no. I just want to see kind of what the audience thinks at this point. Hippo says, kill one and the rest will fall in line. But that hasn't been working. I mean, that is Negan's theory, but it has not been working. So Tobin says yes. Tech says yes. Mogar says yes. A couple people coming in no. Tim, Nicholas say no. Chris Rainig says yes. Deidre says yes. Wow, a lot of people are saying yes. So a lot of people are saying that Simon is leaving the show. There's some no's coming in, but I would say 50%. At least 50% of the group is saying there's a chance he could leave. Now, it's tough to really theorize one thing or the other when 50%, you know, I'd rather theorize one of two ways. One, when I'm the extreme minority and there's like 95% of you saying it's going to happen one way and I feel like I got that one tidbit of information that could change your mind. Number two is when it's a slam dunk and I agree with 95% of you. When it's 50-50, it's always tough because you can't really win those arguments, and it's not really an argument, but you can't really influence those debates a whole lot. So at 50-50, I don't want to go on a limb and say if it does, it'll be interesting to see that Rick tells Negan what happened, but Negan needs Simon to take Rick and Dwight prisoner, but then Rick has to make an example out of Simon. There's a lot. Wow, we just fried Sheila Beasley's brain all over again with that one. But that could play out that way. DJ Damstadt says, Dwight finds Walker Sherry. It's Alpha Maggie's face. Ugh. That's extreme. I feel like Maggie will be okay. I know, maybe I'm just a little too optimistic. I think Maggie's going to be okay. Anthony B., if you are driving, do not text in this stream. Come on now. And he can put a hashtag driving and listening to 999 stream. Now, last night, a lot of people did state that they thought Simon was playing Dwight. But here's another serious question. Is Simon afraid of Rick's group? Because they don't give up and because they do fight back. I'm having a hard time pinning his character down. Normally, I get a pretty good read on characters. But Simon is speaking back to Negan. He does seem like he has a moment of clarity when he says these people don't scare. He didn't go there to deliver the standard message to Jadis. So he wasn't afraid of Jadis. He wasn't afraid of all those people that had guns, even though there was a few more of them. But he seems to be afraid of something. So Nico Bellick says he knows how tough they are firsthand because of the Battle of Alexandria. I can definitely believe that. Bumblebee says not afraid, but feel they might be equal. Or they're just going to keep coming back. Mogar says Simon is afraid of losing. It's apparent from his short temper. Good point. Good point. He changes just on the drop of a hat. Afraid of the dark? Is that Mumbo? Maybe. I'm going to have to correct you on that point. I think that was my favorite Simon line. Machiavelli says Trevor Phillips hates losing too. And checkpoints, Ninja Boy. Do you think Simon will get Negan killed? I don't think Negan's going to die. There were some really good Negan theories last night. Yeah, Nico, that was the longest. It was bullshit. It was like the world's longest. If you didn't get a chance to watch the video last night, check that out, because there were some really good theories from all of you guys toward the end of that. I really liked the Negan on the other side of the tree. And several people messaged me already today and said, could have been a sound from the sign. I did hear some breathing. I didn't see it. So there's just a lot of things that you can make out of that last 30 seconds of episode number 9. Oh, sorry. Don Machiavelli, you can type that again. I accidentally hit the wrong button. It's okay. Didn't mean to censor your comment. It was acceptable. Oh, hang on. I missed a good comment. Or is Sherry pregnant with little baby Negan? A stinky fish bomb from OU Crawfish. What if Maggie loses the baby and goes crazy and becomes alpha? No contract, recast her with another. Maggie as alpha, you know, that might be the most... I think fans would revolt to a degree of revolt we've never seen them before. Yeah, that's a little bit, even on my most aggressive theories, that's extreme for me. Fun to think about, but yeah, don't think it's going to happen. And we are coming up on 58 minutes. This has been a pretty long stream for us tonight. I am on the fence about tomorrow night. We'll see. There could be a scheduling conflict, so I don't want to commit just yet. If there is a stream, it could be 9:30, 10 o'clock. It could be pushed back a little bit later. We may do a breaking news. If not, then we'll catch back up on Sunday morning for the Walking Dead Junkies. There will be some videos posted between now and Sunday, so some comics, some gameplay, a couple other things that'll get out there for you guys. But I appreciate everybody being here. Really, really enjoy the theories. And the debate, the dialogue, everybody participating, just a lot of fun. Once again, we'll get a random things going sometime next week, and I'll elaborate a little bit more of just my issue with just a couple excessive stalker people. But anyway, that's a different time, a different place. Thank you so much. I don't want to take away from the awesome people in this army, the awesome people that participate every single day, the Patreon supporters, the super chatters, and just the people throwing questions up there. Love you guys. Appreciate everything that you guys do. If you're watching the playback, this is the closing credits, then this is sort of the end of the video. If you're still here, I'm going to ask you to type a 999 because I'm going to give you shout-outs. Joey, the Chill with Kills, the Walking Dead Junkies is sort of taken over that time slot, and it does have some Chill with Kills elements into it. So check that out. I know it's not gaming as much, but we definitely have some good conversations. Epic Vids, I would strongly say yes. So I would stay tuned for that. Look for a little bit more information about this week's coming up episode by tomorrow. So thanks everybody for being here. Super Rudd, Debbie Martin, Superman Nick, Tommy V, Ron Burgundy Moore, Peter Grimm Cross, A. May, John Borrego, OU Crawfish with the 999. Thank you so much for the super chats and a lot of interesting dialogue as well. Liz Burnett, Epic Vids, Letro, Chris Rainig, thank you so much. Scott Kernan, Timothy Young, Dustin Cochran, Clown Dust, Trev Heath, 1973. Thanks for being here. All my moderators, Bree, Emmy, Steph, Tommy, Kel, Mambo 55, thank you for being here. Mambo, did your wife join the chat tonight? If so, let me know so we can give her a hard time. because this will be our first chat, I think. Rubelo's channel, the Gaming Squad, Sheila Beasley. Hopefully we helped you a little bit. Ninja Boy, Drama King, New York City. The PPP, the Whispering 999 Army. Hey, May, definitely. We have a lot invested in this. Dan Lawrence, thank you so much. Appreciate you being here. Blood Eagle as well. Holly Pierce, thank you so much, Holly. Tobin McLeod, Mike Blanco. Vengeance 91, there's my gaming buddy. Where you been? Good to see you. Nico Bellick, thank you so much. Always love you hanging out as well. Sean Hoover. Thanks, Stephen Miller. Chosen 186, sorry. Shout out to Chosen 186. Tanya Dockstader, also Red Elastic 98. Valar, thank you so much. Appreciate you being here. And appreciate your shout out to the moderators when you popped in chat. Appreciate that. DJ Damstadt, thank you. Alrethian, thank you so much. Great for, hey, this is your first chat. I'm going to give you a super, hopefully I'm saying your name right. Sorry, Alrethian. Dave Doherty, thank you for being here. Carol Brothers Payette, The Hippo, Sean Lowe, Kelly Golan Zinier. B loves 999 and The Walking Dead. Love it. We're getting some great name changes. I don't have to give you a nickname. That's an awesome new name. Deborah Mooney, thank you so much. Will Saint. We will get Naked Walkers, Trev Heath. You know it's coming. Is that Mig Gangster? What's up, man? Thank you. The Walking Dead nerd. Glad you're here. Thank you. Authorine James, thank you for being here. Gina Crockett as well. Once again, I appreciate you guys sticking around definitely for the shout outs. But I can't emphasize enough that what really makes these streams so enjoyable is the interaction with everybody here. And it's not, you know, I've had gaming battles with channels and stuff. It's not to bash a forum, but you're never going to get the real life interaction with a forum that you get hanging out with people and having the interaction happen live. And that's what we do. If people don't get that, I'm not going to be able to make them get it. That's really our value and what we love to do. So I appreciate all of you guys being a part of this. iRock6, thanks for being here. Sick Wolf, thank you for being here as well. Dwayne Sharp, thank you. Janine Chimmy, thanks for being here tonight. Thank you, Janet. Mr. Midnight, thanks for being here. Melinda Kettler, got in under the radar. Stephen Wolf. Thanks, Debbie Martin. Wow, we went over an hour. We're like an hour and 4 minutes so far. Thanks, Crawfish. Bumblebee Brown. Awkward Angel, what's up? Thanks for being here. Hopefully, Mike, if we do a stream, the notification will be up. It's more likely if it happens tomorrow that it would be 10. So it might be a little bit later. I just have some other commitments earlier on that may finish in time. I may be done by 9:30, but we'll play it by ear tomorrow. If everything goes well, I would like to do the stream. I would definitely like to do it tomorrow. Once again, if I missed any shout-outs, not intentional. When this video goes live, leave a lot of comments. Check out people in the 999 Army, because if I don't answer every question, they'll post their comments. Get over there and help me answer a few of them. So thank you so much, everybody. Beth Burgett, thank you for being here. And, of course, Petey Wheatstraw with the Petey Bombs. Thanks, Petey. Don Machiavelli, what's up? Oh, you know what? We may do it. Blood Eagle wants a 2-hour stream. let's get through the weekend. Who knows? Maybe I'll pick a night and we'll start early. We'll start it at 9 and just go through and just let the thing stream until we all just fall over. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. Red Elastic, Mambo55, everybody in the house. I will talk to you hopefully tomorrow. If not, I will see you Sunday at noon. Peace.